The holidays are nigh upon us, and today we're making a traditional Bakington gingerbread house. Now, while some people might be content to just buy a store-bought gingerbread house and decorate it to their heart's content with some jelly beans and royal icing, I really like making my own. I have a template that I've been using for a couple of years now, and I have a recipe that I'll be sharing with you today. So, let's get started by making the dough for this gingerbread house. Now, I have to do all the camera work myself right now because Derek's at work. How dare he, I know. But here we've got half a cup of brown sugar, a quarter of a cup of molasses, half a cup or 1 stick of soft butter. Here we've got 1 teaspoon of baking soda and half a teaspoon of salt. Here we've got 1 tablespoon of cinnamon powder with a little pinch of allspice. Here we've got 1 tablespoon of ginger powder because this is, after all, gingerbread. A teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I didn't actually have any cloves or nutmeg that were ground, so I have to grind these, so ignore these for now. You need a half teaspoon each of cloves and nutmeg. And of course, 2 cups of flour. Now, let's work. To make things wonderfully simple, all we're going to do is dump all the dry spices into the flour as well as the leavening. And if y'all don't mind holding for a minute, I'm going to deal with these spices. Don't need all of this nutmeg though, so I'm going to take some of it out. And in no time at all, we've got ourselves some spice powder. Now, I'm going to scoop out some of this. Misophonia warning, if you have an issue with weird sounds, this might be one of those. Add some of that to my flour. Just mix all this together before we sort out the butter and the sugar. Now in a much larger bowl, we're going to cream together the butter, the brown sugar, and the molasses. Now, every year people struggle to figure out what to do with molasses and how to get it out of the container best. Now you could use a silicone spatula, but what I'm going to do is actually dilute this with a couple tablespoons of hot water. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of hot water, and I like to put it into the molasses because it helps dissolve everything and it gets it out of the container a little bit easier. Now whisk it up with a piggy whisk, because if you don't use a pig whisk, it will taste awful. Nice. I'm going to add that in. And we're just going to mix all this together. And now it's as simple as adding A into B. Now I'm going to warn you, this might not be the most delicious gingerbread that you want to make cookies with, but this will be good for baking and construction. So if you have a nice family recipe you like to use for your gingerbread, cute little gingerbread families with little gingerbread bow ties, use that for your cookies, but this is construction gingerbread. How could I forget the vanilla? Really out of it today. I'm gonna blame it on. This whole video was a bit of a trial to set up, and I think it was because I didn't have my cameraman with me. And I have a newfound respect for him. But you know, it's gotta work. This is my work. And once you get your hands in, it should form a nice, soft, pliable, almost clay-like ball of dough. Now, let's talk about the next few steps. Cut back to main cam Bakington. Now, we need to let the dough chill in the fridge for at least an hour before we roll it out. So we'll check back in an hour when we're gonna cut it out with our template and bake everything. And I'm gonna show you how I do this to maintain a nice, even shape. Check back in a little bit. All right, so now we've got our nicely rested, chilled block of dough. You can see it's very hard. Got myself my template. This is a template I got off the internet, and I've been using it for a couple of years now. If I can find where I got this template from, because it's been a while, I'll put a link probably in the description somewhere. But it looks like this. See, you've got some side pieces. I've labeled them very nicely. Got some front pieces, not sides. I thought these were the sides at first. And 2 roof pieces, as well as a cute little entryway somewhere around here. It is a little entryway. These pieces are nice though because they're the same size for the sides as well as the top. So what I'm going to do is roll my dough out onto a sheet of baking paper. That way it's easier to transfer. Now, I'm not holding out too much hope because I forget every time how I do this. But what I'm going to need to do is roll my dough out, cut the shapes out, and transfer them. And typically I just transfer it straight onto the paper from the paper. But I believe I always end up cutting through the paper with my X-Acto knife. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, now that I got myself a gingerbread Pangea, we're going to begin cutting out the various pieces. Got myself my X-Acto knife and my template, so let's get started. Ta-da! A piece. I mean, I don't know if you can see it from here, but I can. Now, I'll just repeat the process with the rest of my pieces, bunching the dough up as I go, and reusing it. We'll check back once you got everything cut out. I've got my shapes all cut out, and these are going to go into a 375-degree oven for 14 minutes, or until they're nice and set. Once cooled, before assembling, decorate with your icing. Well, it's been a bit of a minute. I have frosted all of the pieces of my gingerbread house because you might find it's easier if you frost them beforehand, let the icing set, and then assemble it. That way you don't have to like frost at an angle. So I've got all my pieces. These are the roof tiles, these are the sides, these are the tops for the entryway, and I've got myself a cake board. And bubbling away behind me, I also have some not caramel, it's like a sugar syrup. It's glucose syrup, or you can use corn syrup. Water and sugar, and then you cook it until it pulls hard threads. When you like stick a knife in it and pull it out, it should pull little hard threads. It makes really good glue for your gingerbread house. You can also use royal icing. I use royal icing for the exterior, for like the decorations, but I find that I don't have the patience to wait for royal icing to stick together, so I like using a sugar caramel. But I can't do this alone. This requires several hands, so I'm going to have Derek join me. As this is a Christmas tradition in the Bakington Scream household, where we, I don't know, where we decorate and assemble our gingerbread house. So, are you ready to get started?
I love what you did with the roof on this one.
Thank you. We'll show you guys a little bit up close in a moment, but let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so now we need to move pretty quickly because this is gonna cool. So, we're gonna start by dipping, oh, look at that center is already solidifying. That's not bueno, I don't love that. But anyway, we're going to dip a piece of the gingerbread in the sugar. You can see it's pulling nice little threads. Oh, it's dripping. It's dripping. I'm gonna set it, and let's see here. Give it a hold for a couple of seconds. Actually, can you hold this for me? Of course. Thank you. Now I'm gonna take one of the side pieces. I'm gonna dip one side, get a nice dunk, and then another side like that. Carefully. I'm gonna stick it, pressing first against the gingerbread, and then sliding down to press it against the board. Trying to make sure this is. I wish I had like a square. There are people on TikTok who are like engineers and architects and builders, and they use their tools. Oh my gosh, can you hear Bertha? If you hear any snoring in the background, it's our dog. She's very vocal, especially when she's asleep. Perfect. I think if you let it go, it's set. And see, isn't this is the beauty of using sugar. You want to do this one?
Sure. So I do
facing out like that.
That side and that side.
So yeah, dip that part and then flip it around. And so what you want to do first is kind of press it up against this and then drop it down a little bit. So that way you make contact with both sides before you make any commitments. So now, while we wait for our caramel to re-melt down, you can see it's already, give it a little tap. Sturdy, it's very sturdy. I'm actually really enjoying how this is coming out. This was, do you remember last year how difficult it was comparatively?
Yeah, this is much easier.
I wonder what we did differently. Yeah, I know what we did differently. I made a like creme caramel with like just butter, or not butter, with sugar and water and let it burn, like that like dark French caramel. And that cools like that. So it was already, by the time we took it off the pan, or out of the pan and onto the counter, already basically hardening. And I think we had to freehand it last year. I think we lost didn't we lose the template?
You did.
Yes, we only found it very recently, or comparatively recently. But, so we didn't have the template. That's why, because we didn't have the template, we made a bad caramel, and just, I feel like we did it really rushed too. I think it was like the 23rd, 24th, and we realized we hadn't made a gingerbread house yet.
Which is crazy, because they'll probably be watching this on the 23rd.
Yeah, it was, I think it's because you were working more, and then I had started working as well, and so like, we just kind of didn't have the time. But we were like, oh snap, we always make a gingerbread house, and just kind of had to throw something together. I think we like found, I remember we found that one template, but we don't have a printer. We don't have a printer at our house because like who prints things in the year of our Lord 2023?
We didn't have a printer, we do now.
We do now have a printer because we stepped backwards in time. But in the year of our Lord 2022, we thought, who needs a printer? Or at least I do, I still do. And so we couldn't print another template. And so we ended up just freehanding it based off visual, and it was not great. All right, now I'm gonna do these sides actually. Dip, and then dip. I did the wrong sides. Whoops. You wanna do this one?
Yep.
Fantastic. You're so good at this.
All right, get the roofs. I think only one side of these here.
Oh no. Just kidding.
Moves before it.
So how should I do this? Should I put icing on the bottom? Or
Yep.
should I put pecan? Not icing. There. I did it wrong again. I just
Flip it upside down.
What's it gonna stick to?
Okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Here's what I'll do. I will cry. Oh, you know what? You're so real for that. Here's what we'll do. We'll apply some of it carefully, carefully. Like that. The darker it gets like this, the faster it's gonna cool. But that's fine. Just smear on some more. Smear. And what I'm gonna do is stick it like that. Like that. Boom! Boom! Problem solved. And only a mild to moderate amount of mess. Well done, everyone. I think we deserve some hot cocoa.
All right, we're going to pause and then come back in a few minutes with the candy to decorate. All right, so we have icing.
Icing.
Peanut M&Ms in red and white.
Got some little white winter chips. I don't even know what these are called, but
There's stockings and trees.
they're very cute and very tasty. Mm.
We have these little lights in a bunch of different colors that are flavored. They don't taste like your typical
Gumdrop.
gumdrop. Yeah, they're more, they're flavored like the yellow is lime. I think that's why they were at the 99-cent store. The bag said yellow, lime, green, lemon.
So,
But-
so we think they must be misprinted or something.
Because they are flavored correctly. And then we have some
Starlight mints. Just some nice, like, traditional
Simple, yeah.
mint.
All right,
Let's
so
get working.
Go ahead.
So, what are you gonna do first? For me, I'm gonna take my icing and just kind of cover up any sins I find in the roof. You gotta make sure this roof is up to code. Don't want to have the gingerbread inspector coming by saying that our improvements aren't up to code. You know all about that. Ta-da! I like it.
I like it too.
I like these. All right then. Are we good here?
We're good. I think it's good. So,
Cut to main cam. I think it looks super cute. What do you think?
I love it. I think it's great.
All right then. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe down below. Let me know in the comment section what you think of our gingerbread house. Are you making one this year? What are your Christmas traditions? Because not everyone does the same thing we do at Christmas time. Not everyone does the same thing we do at Christmas time, even in, like, Nevada. Even in our home country of Nevada. But, that being said, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all in the next year, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the time we watch this, it'll be almost Christmas, and then I don't know if I have anything scheduled until after. This might be the last video of the year. Maybe. Don't hold me to
This will
that,
be
though.
on the 23rd, so there'll still be a video on the 30th.
Oh, there will be? Okay, then
But
never mind then.
I won't probably be in it until the new year.
Yeah. So we'll see you all in the new year. Have a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, a happy Hanukkah. It's still, at least at the time of filming, currently Hanukkah, right? That's a thing?
I think so.
Ah, I dropped it. All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. See you when I see you. Peace.